Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. WGRD-FM Grand Rapids. 97.9 GRD.
Extra innings, they call it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, right. Coming off the bench.
Yep.
Sweet. Mickey brought
Riding the pine.
Yeah,
fried balls.
Ready to hit some sports talk.
Oh, my
the
God.
Whitecaps
Mick, you brought us fried balls?
There better be cheese in those, Mick.
Yeah.
It was a surprise.
Mick's got the
What do you mean it's
cheesiest
a
balls.
surprise? If your balls don't explode in my mouth, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'll stop sucking.
Brad Bass, Max Green, couple pitchers for the Whitecaps in studio with us. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Hey.
You guys got to be up close on those ones.
Yeah.
Like
You
you're
eat them.
like you're testifying before Congress.
Yeah. Like you're doing your after night thing.
Yeah. Right? Brad, you had a nice performance last night, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done. Max didn't get in.
I filled up his waters.
Didn't need him, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I wouldn't have
Kept him
took you for a
hydrated.
pitcher. Like, you're very tall. You look like a pitcher.
Yeah.
But you look like a little shortstop.
I'm a skinny left-hander. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
How fast can you throw? Your fastball.
I told you 82.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
I was
Yeah.
gone.
You actually stepped
was
out of
gone.
the room last time.
Yeah, you were not in the room.
So that was.
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, this is very important. Hold on. Got to do this right.
Oh, yeah, that.
I actually had it. Just to get you guys in the spirit.
You know,
Yeah,
baseball players get super jacked to organ music from 1951.
It's true.
Well, now I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, before, it's like, I don't know who these guys are.
I didn't know anything. I
What
didn't
are
know
they
what was
pitching?
going on.
Self-help books?
You need a song.
What'd you guys think of the sumo last night?
You know, someone should add lyrics to this song.
Yeah, they should.
What's going on?
Good idea.
Yeah.
Sumo. Yeah, tell us about the sumo.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, it was something I've never seen before.
I enjoyed Mick. I don't know if you're responsible for tweeting that out or who runs the social media for the Caps, but I really enjoyed the clip of the sumo wrestler, the giant sumo wrestler, taking on some probably strong, but relatively speaking, string bean, and throwing them all over the place.
I would like to see this.
I'm doing it today. You can come visit.
Yeah, you're doing it tonight at
Yeah.
JW Marriott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening at JW?
I'm about to fight a sumo wrestler.
A
Really?
sumo's going to toss you?
Yeah.
What are they doing at JW?
Yep.
I'm going to get tossed.
Yeah, I knew it.
Justin's nickname is the Salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Oh man.
Yeah.
You think you could have taken him, Brad?
There was 3 of them, so the big guy, no chance. The little guy,
How much do you think the big guy weighed?
He was
I think it was
600
like
pounds.
600 pounds.
600 pounds.
Oh, and he looked all of it.
Big man.
And then
Amazing.
what's the
Big
little
man.
one?
He was 250.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
so still giant.
Wow.
I want that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's still, yeah.
Please
very,
let Justin
very
take on the
big.
600-pounder.
Yeah.
No offense. It's great for video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just 4 times your body
Just
weight.
content.
That's all.
Yeah.
These guys, when
Twice-
you're
and
near
twice
them,
mine.
do they breathe heavy? Like you'll see.
Do they
Well,
breathe
you'll
heavy?
see like
Yeah,
those.
what?
Inside Edition does those videos, and they're like the fattest man in the world
Oh,
is
yeah.
this guy, and it's like. I thought those people were like 600 pounds, and they had to like do the hand bike crank in a hospital room.
Yeah.
But these guys stay. Well, I guess Massive Mocha was like 600, wasn't she?
I think she was
4.
4 something. Joe got
Okay.
squished by a large woman from Chattanooga one time. That we paid $400 to drive to Nashville and sit on him.
She sat on him.
It's
Yeah.
her thing.
And
Yeah.
Not mine.
It's a fetish thing.
Definitely breathed in a manner that made it seem like me when I'm next to a Ponderosa dessert bar.
Yes. And she
Real
queefed that
heavy.
way too.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all.
Yeah, no,
Really
really bad.
Really stunk up the lobby of the Country Inn and Suites.
But I wanted to know
Smell
'cause
like a Cracker Barrel.
those guys are athletes. Like they're muscular. They can stand and
They can ambulate a little
They
bit
can
better
walk.
than Mocha could.
yeah,
yes.
right.
Instead of the mascot, did the sumo wrestlers race a child at the end of the 3rd inning?
No, but they lined kids up with him.
They did?
And the kids started, trying to like push him around and stuff like that.
That's
was awesome.
hilarious.
It was great.
That's really
That's what it's
funny.
going to look like later when I do it.
Well, what's been exciting on the road for the Caps, Max? What have you been doing?
Going to Cracker Barrel a lot.
You've been
Yeah.
you've been hitting the barrel.
Actually,
Nice. You really like the dice game?
Yeah, not the same smell. I've been working on it. You know,
the peg game.
I'm still an ignoramus, whatever it's called.
Ignore a moose.
Can never get those T's
I love
down.
that.
I'm kind of scared to be back on this show. Last time I was on here, that night I gave up a home run that just hit Neptune.
Was
So, in the 10th inning, yeah.
Was that you? Yeah, you really did fail
the
us
next
that
day,
night.
the next day, we're doing the local sports update. We say, yeah, the Caps lost in extra innings, and it looks like a strong pitching performance was wasted by the bullpen. As soon as that was said, I went, oh man, don't let it be our guy Max. I go on the iPad, and about a second later, our intro's playing, and I go, oh, Max. Now, you didn't start that night, did you, Brad?
I don't think I did. No.
Okay. Yeah, you act like you wouldn't remember.
He's distancing himself.
No.
Brad
I wasn't even
remembers
there.
every non-decision that he has ever gotten from the bullpen. Is that true?
No, you don't remember them because there's just so many of them. You just let them go. I'm just kidding.
Max, when that happens, what do you? Because it's athletics. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball, so to speak. Like, some guys are going to make shots.
That was the weakest
in
coach.
basketball.
Go get him speech I've ever heard.
No, that
Sometimes
wasn't
guys
meant
are going to make shots. You just
I'm
made
just saying
a
in-
basketball reference to
I was
baseball
referring to
players.
basketball in that
Yeah.
case. Like, you can be a great defender, but guys are going to hit shots. Sometimes you played
Yeah.
perfect defense, and they make a shot. So do you then, do you give a nod to the starter?
Oh, no.
Or is it just sort of like you don't need to tap your chest to go, hey, my bad, while the ball's still screaming through the sky?
Yeah, NASA called me. They just said it hit the atmosphere again last week. No, that one hurt a lot. I was in the dugout, just a sad dog for 2 hours after the game.
Were you really?
Yeah, my coach was like, dude, what are you doing? It's midnight.
Yeah, because he's like, we got 100 and, it's 139 more games this year. We got a bunch of them in, but
Yeah, that was lame though, because you're so close, get to extra innings, so one
Yeah.
pitch away, then see you.
That does have to suck. That's a lot of pressure.
so when you not to dwell on it, but it's just fascinating to sort of run through. So you go into your windup and your delivery, ball leaves your hand. How long, do you see it going to a spot over the plate where you're like, oh, bad position? Or did the hitter hit a good pitch?
No, that's what like you said, it's interesting after it happens because you analyze everything. It's I get 2 outs, and there's a new rule where you start on second base in extra innings.
Yes.
They're trying to make it
A
faster.
lot more pressure on the bullpen.
That is a lot of
Because
pressure.
essentially now you need one strikeout because if you get a ground ball or a fly ball, they're moving over to third base with 1 out, and then any other sort of play, even if there's an out, scores them. So I got the strikeout, and there was 2 outs with a guy on third, and I was battling in a 2-2 count. And what you said, you think about all the pitches you threw. I remember exploding and throwing a fastball as hard as I could, and it was down the middle. I was battling. He was fouling him off, him off, and then that one he just rocked. I didn't throw a good pitch. But, you realize that after the fact.
Yeah.
But in the time, you're just trying to pump up the crowd. It's
Right.
the 10th inning, you're trying to throw a fastball by him. And
Yeah. Because that would be cool.
exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Who doesn't
yeah.
want to do that,
Yeah, when you
right?
hit the glove
Yeah.
smack hard and he whiffs.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's the best.
Yeah, give the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Have you faced that guy since?
No, I called the league and told him to move him up.
You need to call him. Your pitch did that for
guy
him.
should be in AAA.
He hit
Totally.
my
Get him out
pitch,
of here.
so obviously he's really great.
He now owes you.
Yeah.
Brad, how many pitches did you throw last night?
I think it was somewhere around 78,
How many strikes?
56.
I just wanted to see if would you always know? Is that
Usually I like to look after because to start the year out, I'd been throwing more balls
Yeah.
than I would have liked.
How'd that work out? Not that great?
No, not as good as I would have liked.
Okay.
But so I've been trying to focus on throwing a lot more strikes. So every game I check.
But I thought if you got to 5 balls, they're out.
just like Little League, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My first year
Exactly.
in Little League, it was you got 6 balls
Yeah.
and 3 strikes.
You really
Yeah.
did.
Because otherwise it was all walks.
Oh, yeah.
And you could still leave your bat on the shoulder. And as a kid, I didn't know that walks didn't count for batting average.
Yeah.
So including walks, I was hitting 600. But most of them were walks. Because I'm like, I don't care if you give them 8 balls, they still can't hit the plate often enough.
yeah.
One of them's going to hit me if I stand here long
Oh my
enough.
God, that reminds me of my mom. When I was in Little League, my mom bought me an Oakland A's jersey, and it would have been the nicest thing I owned. And she said, the first time you get onto base, I'm going to give this to you. So that's encouragement.
Oh,
So the minute I got Bean. I was like, yeah, Jersey.
I got a base and a shirt.
Who is the jersey? Ozzy Canseco?
Oh, it was from TJ Maxx. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was like Ozzy, and then an A, the A missing and the O missing.
Like, oh, I can't wait to cheer for my favorite Oakland A. His name must be Bank of America. Was there anything more disappointing as a kid than getting something you think is authentic and then finding out it was a cheap
No.
logo knockoff?
No.
This was from the Whitecaps. Those were always great.
And, it was even more disappointing when she said, no, that's not how it works. You have to hit one and get on base. And I went, what? So
Your
I don't
mom
even
held your feet to the fire?
I don't get, well, I think I...
Did you say I did hit one? It went forward. It was like a bunt.
Your hippie feel-good mom made you swing the bat?
Yeah, she did.
That seems so out of character.
I know. It seems like just what I needed. And I'm sure that my complaining just led to her giving me the jersey and then her just going, do your thing.
Yeah.
Good luck to you in life.
You're going to outgrow it
Enjoy
anyway.
some more fun dip.
Yeah. Well, I will. Crowding the plate seems to get me on base more than anything else. So
Max Green, Brad Bass here in studio. So last time, Brad, we said it is Bass, right?
Yeah,
not
Bass.
Bass. That put it in all of our heads. And so this morning we're like, yeah, it's Brad Bass, right? Oh, it might be Brad Bass. Even though we knew it was Bass last time.
I go, no, thanks to us now talking about it. Now I can't. Now I'm not sure.
But fortunately, the headline at Whitecaps Baseball said Bass swims through the loons. And I'm like, oh, well, they're not dumb enough to write Bass swims through the loons. That'd be stupid.
Or are they?
yeah, you're like, maybe they don't know.
Maybe that's a really clever way to mess with everyone.
We have a baseball bet on the show between two members of the show. I want to run it by you and see who you think will win, but I want to do so in an unbiased way. So I'm not going to tell you who has what side in the bet. But when Tim Tebow came back,
Have you heard about that?
Are you familiar with Tim Tebow?
Okay.
Hard-hitting left-hander. When he started playing baseball, one show member believed that he would eventually get a sniff of the major leagues through a combination of guile and name recognition. And another show member...
And novelty.
And novelty. And another show member said, absolutely not. This is just a sideshow. Tebow never rises above the minor leagues. And so a bet was established, and the bet will only be ended when either Tim Tebow gets 20 major league at-bats throughout his career. It could be 4 this year, 4 next year, and then ongoing, or 20 this year. Or when Tim Tebow announces he's done from retirement.
Or they fire him.
Or they cut him.
Yes.
Or done from baseball.
Because he seems to not know how to play sometimes.
It's a $100 bet. Who's going to win? The person that is pro Tebow or anti Tebow? Brad.
I think there's a solid chance that he does get up, just simply because the Mets aren't doing that great, and he is somebody that will bring fans to the stadium no matter what. And he's actually holding his own in AA. I mean, he's not hitting like 100. He's hitting like 2-something. He's doing pretty good. So I feel like it's kind of a win-win, whereas if, the Mets aren't doing that great, they might just bring him up towards the end of the year for like a month or something like that just to get people to come to the stadium when people are just done with the season. So I think it's just one of those scenarios where it's a win-win if you bring them up.
And they do that with a lot of minor leaguers anyway, right? To get
when
them
they expand the
experience
rosters.
when they know they're not going to move on anyway,
Yeah.
so they get major league experience.
Exactly.
It's tough, but he's like Joan of Arc. He has God on his side.
Yeah.
You think he's going to make it?
Let's hope he ends up the same.
Yeah.
He's hitting 244 with 4 home runs and 21 RBI on that.
That's not. I mean, that'll keep you around.
Yeah.
If you're Tim Tebow.
So I bet on Tebow, and Joe bet against him.
Yeah.
Yes. When you say it'll keep you around, it'll keep him around there. But really, you think the Mets are going to get that desperate? Well, where they'll start using Tebow as hey, we suck, but this guy's here. Will that work for more than one game? Will he get 20 at-bats? Is that possible?
Well, that's where I think at the end of the season where, there's just a month left where nobody wants, when they're already out of the playoffs and everything like that, where they could just bring Tebow up for the month, and he could get 20 at-bats in that month easily.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you never know what they're going to do.
I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that at all.
If he was, any other dude hitting 244 with those numbers at AA, would he be there? Or would he be optioned to single A or low A, or would he
It's hard to say because he's older, right? I mean, he's like 26.
I think so, yeah.
27-ish. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's only so many places you can put him. You don't really want to have a 26, 27-year-old guy in low A, high A.
He's
So,
30.
Yeah.
He's 30.
Yeah.
So, like,
Oh, wow.
double
Yeah,
A is
he'll be
really
31 in a month.
Yeah.
the only
2
spot
months.
you can put him, no matter if he's in the league or not. But I mean, if
like
you-
he's literally too old to play in the
Yeah,
lower leagues. Like I can't go play little league. Like the same thing.
basically the same thing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Well, they're
no.
not going to keep
Bad news
wasting
for that
time
guy.
on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess you'll have to stop driving around looking for kids to play baseball with you.
For a number of reasons.
It sounds like you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say Mickey Graham calls a press conference as the owner of the Whitecaps and announces that the Tigers have made a trade for Timothy R. Tebow, and he's coming to West Michigan. Would you want that as a teammate?
I would be stoked.
Would you?
I would be stoked.
Like
yeah.
for what sense? Like just the novelty and the sideshow of it?
Yeah, a good guy. He seems like a good guy.
He does.
He does seem
seems
like a
like
great guy.
everybody likes him.
The crowds would be absolute. I mean, our crowds are packed, but they'd
Yeah.
Your crowd, yeah, pretty impressive. Yeah.
be, you know.
Yeah. You had 7,000 for the day game the other day.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Was that
A lot of
was that a
screaming
lot of kids?
A lot of screaming
a lot of
kids.
Was it loud?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the day where the kids get out of school and go early.
Yes.
I normally
Yeah.
get stuck at that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, I went to the Griffins game for the matinee. They do the similar thing, and it was when vuvuzelas were really popular after the World Soccer.
Oh, those
and
are majestic
It's like all of the parents said, "Hey, don't spend your money on food. Make sure you buy a pointless horn that can ruin the experience for everyone." Because that hockey game was 3 hours of in the middle of intermission. It's still a cascade of noise coming down.
Yeah,
Like, it
that
was
was
just-
a big mistake giving those things away.
Your only saving grace would be if it was that one kid who couldn't figure it out. So you just hear like, and he thinks he's doing it. Like, you're stupid. But thank goodness for that.
The Caps have a doubleheader tomorrow. The early game at 1:05, a day-night doubleheader at 1:05 against South Bend, and then at night at 7:05 against South Bend. Of course, tonight at Fifth Third Ballpark as well, and then Sunday and Monday, South Bend in town for 5. Now, you guys were saying off the air that
baseball.
South Bend has the highest number of puds in the league. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they had they have a top pud count.
I think that's a baseball term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what that stands for.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's like wins against replacement.
Yeah.
Right?
It's,
Same thing.
it's a lot of those.
It's one of those.
Where I go,
It's
I
one
don't
of
know
those
what that
advanced
means.
sabermetrics things. I think Billy Bean thought of it.
That's what Moneyball was about.
Well, good to see you guys.
Yeah, you
Good
just
to see
Yeah.
you too. It's a
So what
blast.
do you do, Brad? We mentioned you pitched last night. So what's today? Nothing, right?
On my pud.
just catch.
No. Okay.
Yeah, just nothing.
What
Well,
do
actually,
you-
I have to do the radar gun in the stands, so I'll be
Okay.
sitting in the stands.
Oh, okay.
Will you?
Yeah. How often does that radar gun end up pointed at a girl?
10.
4. Shake it.
How fast are
still
those
four.
butt cheeks moving?
Let's see.
Is your arm sore today?
I love it.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. But
That's normal?
yeah, it's always.
What
like
about
this.
tomorrow? Will it be sore?
It'll be good tomorrow. A little bit, but like it'll be good. Usually, like once you start throwing, it just like loosens up. It's kind of weird. You
Yeah.
like feel sore when you wake up. You're kind of like, oh my goodness, am I gonna be able to pick up a ball today?
Yeah.
And then like once you go through all your routine and stuff like that, you just realize that it just always loosens up.
Yeah.
Max, as a reliever, did you see where I'm sure you did because you guys play baseball and watch baseball, but where the Rays a couple weeks ago started a reliever 2 days in a row, the same reliever against a team?
Ow.
They said it was the first day. I think he pitched because he's I don't remember the name, but apparently he's really good. He's arguably their best pitcher on the roster, and I guess the manager or the team or the brass was sitting around going, well, why do we save our best pitcher for the end of the game and we lose a lot, so a lot of times we can't even go to him. Let's trot him out there for the first 6 outs of the game or the first 4 outs of the game. So I think the first day he pitched 2/3 of an inning or a full inning.
Okay.
And then the second day he pitched 1 2/3 innings. Wow. And at the time, a lot of baseball people were saying maybe this is the new trend. Wow. Like, because people use pitching staffs a lot different. There was a time where Brad, you would have been expected to go seven innings almost every time you go out. That's not really the expectation even at the major league level anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Other than like a Justin Verlander or a Max Scherzer where they're tearing it up.
Well, wouldn't that just mean he's the starter now?
Well, he is a starter, but not in the traditional sense of, for 130 years of baseball, the starter goes, he pitches that day, and then he doesn't pitch for 4 or 5 days, and then the bullpen comes in and cleans it up.
So they're just
or in Max's case, burns it down.
So he doesn't have the title, so they're like, use him up. Just that once.
Did they bring a starter in after him?
I don't remember. I thought they went to middle relief, but it would make sense that they went to a starter, right?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise their bullpen arms have to be just killing.
Going to be hard on them,
Yeah.
Strategically, though, Max, would you like that?
It's
Obviously, I'm sure you were a starter in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In college?
No, I relieved in college.
You relieved in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that strategically, what would that be different for you? To warm up in the bullpen before the game and everything else.
You'll see it a lot more in the show. Usually in the minors they won't do it as much because they got a lot of arms to use and they want to keep guys healthy. But if you throw an inning, it's equivalent to throwing a light bullpen. Which he'll throw. Him and other starters will throw a bullpen 2 days before, a day before. Off the mound essentially. Obviously it's different with adrenaline flowing, but it's not, once you get the adrenaline pumping, it really goes away. Like what he said with throwing, it's like, it's almost worse to not throw that day after because then the next day it's even worse, But once you get out there, it's totally fine. And it's like, especially if you're in a groove, it's pretty easy to get out there.
Brad, when you're starting in your third inning, you lean into a fastball. What are you, 93, 94 or higher?
Just like 90, 92 right now.
90, 92. When you're throwing soft bullpen, is that what you said, soft bullpen? What you're throwing from the mound still?
Yeah.
What are you hitting then?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we don't really radar it, but
it's not.
It's like 70%.
Okay, that's what
70%. It's really easy.
Now
it's
we
just
have
to keep form and
it's just to work on your mechanics and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now we have all that, the whole sabermetrics thing's taking over. So we have that, it's like the stat era. So we have these things called like Rapsodos and TrackMan. So even in our bullpens now.
What does that mean?
They set up all this crazy machines behind so they can see how fast how many rotations your ball has, like the velocity, how it spins.
So
it's crazy.
Does a coach, like the pitching coach, come to you and say, hey, when you release your fastball, you're not getting enough rotations or a curveball? And then are you coached? There's obviously technique that can make it so it spins more or less?
There are. It really depends organizationally. I've heard, like the Houston Astros, what me and my friend in the bullpen talk about, like if you have a low spin rate, that's what the new thing's called. Like they won't even draft you, which is crazy to think about.
Wow.
Yeah, but
because
our team doesn't really talk
taught?
about that as much. Kind of, but it's just like there's a lot of things with spin right now. They're learning so much every day about baseball because it's becoming all a game of math. And
Isn't that crazy?
It's
wild.
wild.
I mean, however, 140 years in and that's a whole new chapter.
We're learning
a whole new book.
Things.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad as a player?
I'm not a huge fan of it because, if you're like a sinker ball thrower or something like that, and you can do well in the bigs and stuff like that, you're not going to have a high spin rate.
Yeah.
It's weird because a fastball that rises has a high spin rate.
Okay.
So if you're just a sinker ball thrower, you're not going to have a high spin rate. But I do think there's some truth to it where the guys with the higher spin rate, you can tell they can pitch up in the zone. If you're a sinker ball thrower, you're not going to throw up in the zone to try and make a guy swing and miss because your ball's
going to come down to where he's swinging.
So it's just you look into it.
It's fascinating.
Yeah,
it's
it
the
is.
science of it.
Though, it seems like if you were used to doing it some way, if you don't grow up learning to do that, if that's just not your thing, and they're trying to force that on you, you're just going to screw people up.
Well, it seems like a great way to make people overthink.
Oh, yeah.
Is that part of the battle?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't you just wish you could go back to the time where you went to, you smoked cigars and then fought people in the stands?
Ate a couple of hot dogs.
You could be as racist as you wanted.
So when, in the olden days, and I mean 15 years ago, 20 years ago or longer, when somebody was referred to as a player that had good movement on his fastball, good natural movement, was that without knowing it, people talking about rotation and spins?
I don't know if it's
high spin, low spin.
I don't know if it's the spin rate as much as it is just literally seeing the ball move from the outfield angle, I guess, of the camera.
Yeah.
You can just see when a guy's ball has movement on it.
Yeah.
As a lefty, he has natural left movement where just goes this way to the left side. And you can just tell based on how the ball is moving. It's not really as much as spin rate.
Yeah.
But there are guys that you can see who have like really high spin rates that their ball like almost looks like it's rising a little bit when it comes out of their hand.
Who's someone I could look at on YouTube or in the majors or whatever that has that?
Like Jason Verlander, Justin
Verlander.
Gosh.
We have a guy on our team,
Mr. Upton.
Matt Manning. I think he has high spin rate too.
He does.
His ball kind of just like shoots out.
Man.
We'd make jokes like, yeah, he gave up with our friends, not Manning, but he gave up seven runs tonight. But what was his spin rate? That's a real question.
It probably does happen, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh yeah, did everything right.
It's the same thing with the radar gun too. You give up 7 runs and somebody's like, "Well, how hard was that throwing?" It's like, why do you care? You just gave up 7 runs.
Yeah, but I hit 102.
And yeah. No one ever says that about the crafty old professor who's retrained his game and he comes in at 40 years old and he's throwing junk up there, but nobody can touch it. Max Green, Brad Bass, good to see you guys. Whitecaps baseball at home tonight against South Bend, 2 tomorrow, day-night doubleheader, and then Sunday and Monday before back on the road against the Loons, which he said were second in the Midwest League in PUD rate. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go see the Whitecaps. Whitecapsbaseball.com, all the details. That's it. We'll see you. 97.9 GRD.
All right.